and I am here with Sam Bankman-Fried. He is the CEO and founder of the crypto exchange FTX, but he's really got his hands in sort of numerous things, having had an incredible few years.
So you hear how Weisenthal is pumping this guy who's running a criminal operation. Do you hear them talk about, hey, you know, you're running an operation that helps fund terrorist activities, that helps fund human sex trafficking, that helps illegal drug trafficking, right? You're never going to hear anybody in the media talk about that. Think about that, right? Because their buddies control the industry. He's a great guy, according to Weisenthal. He's a superhero, right?
Yeah,
Let's,
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let's pivot a little bit on another stablecoins related.
greed financial system that
What a oh God. This guy. So one of the ways is to make a Ponzi scheme. Mr. Bankman, FTX, running a Ponzi scheme. Okay? He's explained it as a Ponzi scheme. He's described it as a Ponzi scheme. Now, that's one of the ways to return 14%. Another way is to rent out your crypto. And I would say what's going on there, obviously people aren't going to pay 14%, 15% to rent out someone else's crypto. So what are they doing? They're renting out someone's crypto 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 times. They're leveraging it. That's why they don't have the crypto to return to these people. That's what's going on. I mean, I don't need to look into it. I know how these parasitic criminals operate. You see? That's what's going on. The criminals love cryptocurrency because it's not regulated. They can fuck anybody any way they want, anytime they want, and nobody can come after them. I wouldn't necessarily bet too much on the failure of crypto, because I will tell you this. The criminal mafia has too much to lose. They have too much at stake. You understand? You've got a mafia of professional criminals that run that industry now. And they are buddies with the regulators who are going to come in eventually and regulate it. So I can't see it going away because there's too much money for them to steal. You see? Wall Street completely runs the cryptocurrency industry. I'd say, 95%. And when I say Wall Street, I'm talking about venture capital, same thing. Talking about, any type of professional investor. So, look, I talked about this many, many years ago. Crypto's a scam. There's no doubt about it. And anyone who is giving you information on investments, who also talks about crypto, is a complete fraud. They're irresponsible fraud. You cannot talk about investing in the stock market and crypto. Now, you can say, okay, it's a gamble. I'm going to gamble with it. Okay, fine. But do you think it's responsible to have a channel on YouTube to be talking about the stock market and then pumping crypto? Even if you say it's a gamble, it's risky, right? I don't think that's responsible at all. It's not responsible because cryptocurrency is a complete and utter scam. It's backed by nothing. And honestly, everybody in cryptocurrency, they really deserve to lose everything. Because they didn't want regulation. They didn't want investor protections. That's why they went to crypto. They didn't want, and you have FTX now, is now selling. They have a trading platform where you can buy and sell stocks and leverage 20 to 1. Well, guess what? Think about this for a second. Guaranteed, almost nobody knows this that's on FTX. Guaranteed, because I know the stupidity of the people that are in this dog shit. You're talking about the typical YouTube idiot. If FTX goes bankrupt and you own a lot of stocks on the FTX platform, guess what? You're screwed. They get your stocks. Goodbye. It's gone. Because they have no SIPC protection. Okay? That's similar to the FDIC for banks. It's for brokerage firms. They don't have that protection. There's zero protection. Think about this for a second. This clown, this fraudster, Mr. Bankman, he didn't own any cryptocurrencies until a few years ago. He started this exchange in 2019. And he was worth $32 billion a few months ago. Now it's $11 or $12 billion. How is this possible? How is it possible? He's being funded by a bunch of Wall Street predators. You understand? I hate to go to Wikipedia because it's a bullshit source, but certain things are factual, right? But Wikipedia is just complete garbage source. Let's take a look. I want to see if they have... Yeah, so he's hiding out in Bahamas running this criminal operation. Oh, look. In August 2021, Kevin O'Leary signed on as an official spokesperson for FTX to be paid in cryptocurrency. What a sleazy scumbag. Piece of garbage. By the way, let me show you something here. I saw a video. Kevin O'Leary says something like from Scam Tank, stupid scam show. Kevin O'Leary says something like, "Oh, I'll offer money because I hate greedy people." That's what he says. Tell me, Kevin O'Leary is not one of the most greedy people possible. Shameless piece of garbage. I mean, these people should be shamed, man. I mean, where's the money coming from, folks? Where's the money coming from? You're raising $1 billion from 60 investors, including SoftBank. And this guy, the SoftBank, this guy is a complete fucking loser. And, I mean, he's an idiot. All he does, basically, is he basically pumps stocks up. He takes large positions in stocks and just kind of he's a complete. I'm not gonna even get into his shitty strategy. This guy's an idiot. Sequoia Capital, venture capital firm. So you see what I'm saying, folks? I mean, this is just shocking to me. Crypto scams, and of course, I mean, this is just the reality. It's backed by nothing. It's backed by nothing. Zero. And it's even worse than that. It's even worse than the tulip bubble. You know why? It's worse than the tulip bubble craze. I'll tell you why. Because, once again, they can seize your assets. The crypto exchange can freeze your assets, can take your assets legally. Okay? They can take your assets. If there's a bankruptcy, your assets are gone. Zilch. Think about that. And it's not as if you're going to have any warning. Take a look at what happened to Celsius and Voyager. People tried to pull out. They tried to get their money out. And they just stopped. They couldn't. Why do you think they shut them down? They froze the accounts. Because they were leveraged. I'll guarantee you. It was a bank run. You understand? They were over leveraged, which is similar to some degree, somewhat similar to the stablecoin situation. Those stablecoins were promoted as to be pegged to the dollar, but they weren't backed by dollars. So they didn't have dollars to back it up. None of these exchanges have sufficient money to back up all the assets they've divvied out. They're all over leveraged. And I'll tell you right now, that's why the cryptos, if they keep collapsing, you're going to see some really devastating losses. Okay? Because we're talking about a big domino effect. And guess what? Criminals like this guy, people running the exchanges, the investors, they're not going to lose money. You guys are going to lose money. They're going to take your money. You see? They get your assets. They don't lose. It's just like Wall Street. The bankers. They don't lose. It's just like the YouTube fake investment gurus. They don't lose. Even though they may lose money in stocks, they make it back. And they're bogus endorsements, they're bogus affiliate links, they're scammy affiliate links. And all the idiots sending them money, selling their courses, they don't lose. You understand, folks? I mean, wake up. YouTube is the world's largest portal for scams and scam artists. Show me YouTubers that are pitching stocks that aren't scammers. And it's not just pitching stocks. Every single genre, they're scammers. You name it. It's all a bunch of grifting scumbags. Filthy scumbags. YouTube is a disaster. You know how many times I've contacted the FTC about YouTube over the years? Contact the FTC. They need a special department. Think about the damage that YouTube has caused. Think about it for a second. You've got all these, quote, content creators, scammers, who are pitching all these crypto scams. They've been doing it. And they're getting paid money to pitch this garbage. And they're blowing up. Just like Robinhood. Getting paid money to pitch Robinhood. And Robinhood's screwing people. It's a criminal operation. YouTube is facilitating and profiting from a massive criminal operation. And so are these YouTubers. Think about this. It's fucking ridiculous, man. Nobody's saying anything about this. It's ridiculous. This is why I came out, folks. This is why I came out. I never was on YouTube. Never wanted to be on YouTube. Why? I'll say it. I said it before. I'll say it again. Because I saw a long time ago, 99% of people who watch YouTube are idiots. You're talking about the lowest level of human existence. Completely naive morons. These are the same people who are greedy, lazy, stupid. And this is why you have people like Ty Lopez and Grant Cardone and all these scammers on YouTube. Why do you think that they're focusing on YouTube? Because the audience is there. The target market is there. I'm like the opposite. High level, credible, world-class expert. I have no desire to be on YouTube, to market on YouTube. That's why I never came on YouTube. You see? I had to come out and call out this shit because it's gotten too bad. And of course, when I do that, I'm threatening to dismantle the fake investment guru genre. And so I'm being defamed, slandered, lies, cyber stalking, cyber harassment. That's right, folks.
There are two fundamental reforms that we need is to get adequate capital and two, to get far higher levels of enforcement of fraud statutes. Existing ones, I'm not even talking about new. Things were being done which were certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which, I mean, fraud is a fact. Fraud creates very considerable instability in competitive markets. If you cannot trust your counterparties, it won't work. And indeed, we saw that it didn't.
So things went very well, and then the economy collapses. And so all of a sudden people are saying, well, it was Alan Greenspan's fault because he should have anticipated this. Did you think that was fair?
Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. One of the things I put in the second book I wrote was how the IMF missed it, the Federal Reserve missed it. You go down a whole series of the major forecasting.
Well, everybody got it wrong, let's say.
You can't have a crisis of that nature that is not a surprise. Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. One of the things I put in the second book I wrote was how the IMF missed it, the Federal Reserve missed it. You go down a whole series of the major forecasting.
Well, everybody got it wrong, let's say.
You can't have a crisis of that nature that is not a surprise. Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. There are two fundamental reforms that we need is to get adequate capital and two, to get far higher levels of enforcement of fraud statutes. Existing ones, I'm not even talking about new. Things were being done which were certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which, I mean, fraud is a fact. Fraud creates very considerable instability in competitive markets. If you cannot trust your counterparties, it won't work. And indeed, we saw that it didn't. Certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which, I mean, fraud is a fact. Fraud creates very considerable instability in competitive markets. If you cannot trust your counterparties, it won't work. And indeed, we saw that it didn't. Certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which, I mean, fraud is a fact. Fraud creates very considerable instability in competitive markets. If you cannot trust your counterparties, it won't work. And indeed, we saw that it didn't. There are two fundamental reforms that we need is to get adequate capital and two, to get far higher levels of enforcement of fraud statutes. Existing ones, I'm not even talking about new. Things were being done which were certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which, I mean, fraud is a fact. Fraud creates very considerable instability in competitive markets. If you cannot trust your counterparties, it won't work. And indeed, we saw that it didn't. Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. Things were being done which were certainly illegal and clearly criminal in certain cases, which nobody forecast the 2008 crisis. 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 Nobody forecast the 2008 crisis.
terms of getting back as an investor, if it's coming down to here, almost irrespective of what's going on, I have to believe, if I have to make a call in advance, and of course I can change depending on what happens, but I have to believe this is where you want to start doing that 18, 17, around there. Their earnings report is a complete game changer, at least for quite a while. Bottom line, NVIDIA now is going to enter the realm of Tesla, Apple, and all these other big, I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works. I mean, listen, NVIDIA can come down to 150, come down to $100. If you don't think it's possible, then you don't understand how the market works.